Okay, so if you use Audacity a lot and you have a process that you use to edit, you'll know that it takes quite a long time sometimes. So, for example, if you make audiobooks or you record podcasts or you make, I don't know, meditation tracks or whatever you do, you probably have your own series of effects that you like to use, for example, like compressors, EQ, reverb, and everything else, okay? And at the moment, if you're applying them one by one, this takes a lot of time. As you know, if you record a lot of audio, it's often the editing and the mastering, which actually takes longer than the recording itself. But I want to show you how to use macros and shortcuts so you can reduce the editing time down to literally just a few buttons. I do this all the time now. It's made my work so much easier, and I just wanted to share it with you because it's inbuilt in Audacity. You don't have to download anything else, and it's really quick. So let me show you. I'm going to just start off. I wanted to show you this little list here so you know what to expect. We're going to record a track. We're then going to save your presets in your effects if you haven't done that already. You then want to go to Macro Manager, and I'm going to show you how to set up macros so you can apply several effects at once. And then I'm going to show you shortcuts so you can keybind them. So let's start off by recording a track. Hi, this is just a really quick recording just for the purpose of this video so you can see how to use macros. Okay, this is just our normal track. Hi, this is just a really quick recording just for the purpose of this video. Yeah, so bog standard track. If you already have your presets set up for your effects, and what I mean by that is the settings, the how you have them set up so that they are giving you the results that you want. So let me just highlight my recording I just did, and let's go to, say, a limiter. Okay, I have mine set up so that the compression curve, the threshold here is 6 or -6, sorry, and this just squashes down the high like any peaks or anything in the volume if they're too high. So then when I add further effects later on, it keeps everything level when I normalize it, for example. But it doesn't matter, you don't have to worry about using this exact effect. I'm just showing you one I use personally. So I have this already set up. If you don't and you want to save presets, you can just click Save Preset, and you can call it like, I don't know, we'll call it YouTube test just for the purpose of this, okay? So we'll apply that and you'll see that it applies it. We don't have to worry about that. I just wanted to show you how to make a preset. I'm going to undo it just so we're back to normal with the audio. Okay, so now you can make, once you've done that with all of your effects, I'm not going to go through all of them because everyone has different effects they use. I just wanted to show you that menu in Audacity for all of their inbuilt effects. You can also have your own, you can also have your own ones for ones that you've downloaded. So presets and settings, it looks the same. So one of my presets is voiceover, for example. But yeah, if you download them and you use them on Audacity, any plugins, any third-party plugins, you can save presets on there too. Anyway, so I want to show you the macro part of this now, okay? The macro manager. If we go to Tools at the top, go to Macro Manager. This is one I have already made earlier. Let me just go ahead and delete that just so to avoid confusion, because I'll make another one. So as you can see, I already have some macros made. What a macro does is it applies several actions at once, so you don't have to keep going through and applying them all manually one by one. For example, I have one called limiter and normalize, self-explanatory, that's what it adds. 2 is noise reduction using my current settings, and 3 is the finalizing of the voiceover. So you've got like an EQ, you've got normalize, and an ACX check, which isn't an effect, by the way. You can do other things other than effects. You can use sort of analysis and other tools, and I want to just show you now how to use that. Okay, so let's just start a new one. I'll call it YouTube test just for the purpose of this. Probably let me rename it actually. We'll call it YouTube test macro. YouTube test macro, because I don't want to get confused with the presets that I made, also called that. Okay, so anyway, you click new, you make a new one, and it's right there. Okay, over on this page, once you've got it highlighted, Over on this side, you've got edit steps. Now you can add effects and other actions here that will happen in chronological order. And when you click insert, you'll be seen with this massive great list, okay? It's going to include other macros. You've got all kinds of actions, you know, like changing tempo and auto ducking, and everything that you could possibly do on Audacity is under this list. I'm going to go to the limiter, which is what I showed you earlier, which is one of the tools I use. So if you just click that here, you can either edit parameters, so you can change the settings within the macro editor itself, or you can use presets. So let's use the preset I set, which is called YouTube Test. And now I click OK. And as you'll see, it's added it to our list. And we click insert again. This time I'm going to add something different. Let's add a reverb. I don't often use reverb on here. I tend to use it on other things. But okay, so I've clicked reverb. Again, you can edit the parameters. We can do all kinds of things. Let's just keep it as it is here. Apply. You can use presets as well, as I said before. Click OK. Now you can see these in the list. So what it'll do, when I use this macro called YouTube Test Macro, it will apply first the reverb, then the limiter, then end. If you want to do it the other way around, you just click and you go move up or move down. You can just move them up and down the list. You can add as many steps as you want to here. There's no limit. So we'll leave it as that for now, just for so you can see how it works. You want to click save. And we'll close this out. Now when I go to select my audio, just double click and it will select the whole track. Go to tools again. Now go to apply macro. And now you'll see it in the list at the bottom, YouTube Test Macro. There you go, it's added those effects. So now it sounds like this. Hi, this is just a really quick recording just for the purpose of this video so you can see how to use macros. And there we go, it's as simple as that to use your macros. And you want to do that for any effects that you use for your process. And I've made mine into 3. You can use as many as you want. Now for the really cool bit, which is, I think, probably the bit that makes this so much quicker, okay? I used the macro manager for a while and it really sped up my process. And then when I found shortcuts, I mean, it has just made my life so much easier, okay? So now you can find your macros in the shortcuts menu and make a key binding. So instead of having to go tools and then apply macro and then find it in the list, we can do it with just our keys. So if you go to edit, go to preferences, and then go to shortcuts. You'll now be able to find your key bindings or any of the actions with their key bindings attached. So at the moment, the macro we just made doesn't have a key binding, but we want to add a key binding to it so that it knows what keys will make it do the action without us having to find it in the menu. So you want to go view by name and then search for the name. We called it YouTube Test, remember? So I'm going to type that in. And it says apply macro, YouTube Test Macro. Now you want to click down here and I'm going to think of a quick shortcut to add. So the keys I wouldn't use for anything else. Let's have a look. So I'm going to click Control Alt. Let's do Control Alt 6, okay? And then click Set. And now you'll see Control Alt 6 is next to apply macro YouTube Test Macro, okay? So when we click OK, that should now be stored. I'm just going to go back and edit and undo the fact that I applied that macro, okay? So if you click Control A, that's going to select all. That's just a universal window shortcut. So Control A selects all of it. But now if I do Control Alt 6, which is how I saved my macro key binding, Control Alt 6, you'll now see it just applied it. And I can see by looking at the edit history. And that's all there is to it. So you can create as many key bindings as you want. But I wanted to show you one final thing. You don't have to do this, but if you have a Stream Deck, this makes life so much easier. I can now do all of my editing in the click of about 4 buttons. It is insane. So, sorry, that was my dog snoring, by the way. If you go to Stream Deck, I'm just going to open it up. Let's go back quickly. Go to work. Go to Audacity. Okay, these are my key bindings. So this is just like a little optional thing. If you don't have a Stream Deck, don't panic, because the key bindings on your normal keyboard will still work. You still need to have made those key bindings though. So like a Control-Alt-6, Control-Shift-P, whatever, you know, like you still need to have them with a normal keyboard in order to do it on the Stream Deck. But I'm going to show you how I did this, okay? So if I show you my one, you'll see if I go to Limit Normalizer, which is one of the macros I made, it's got Control-Shift-7 as its key binding on Audacity. So now I've made it. If you go onto your Stream Deck and go to System and go to Hotkey, that's how you add one. So you would just drag Hotkey over to one of these bars, click Hotkey here, assign it to something, and then call it something. So let's do that now with that macro that I just made, okay? So we called it YouTube Test. Oops. YouTube Test. And the hotkey was, if you remember, Control-Alt-6. Okay? So now that's on my Stream Deck. So I'm going to go back to Audacity, click undo again, so we've cleared the fact that I've added it. I'm going to Control-A. Okay, and now I'm just going to click the button on my Stream Deck. And there we go, it just added it. So I have this little menu on my Stream Deck, and I can just literally just click those buttons when I want, and it works. I really hope this helped and was straightforward. If there's anything that I've forgotten to cover here, please let me know, because I would love to answer your questions in the comments. I always try my best. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you, or I'll try and find it out. Let me know how you get on and how much time this saves you. Thanks guys, see you later.